Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Sandhills here. Just wanted to make a real quick video and just give a quick unboxing of the new toy that we brought home today. You can see from the box it is from Taurus, and it's not Taurus Brazil, it's Taurus USA. I believe this one was built in Miami. So let's open this up. The first thing you see is the instruction manual, which is nice to have. Always read and follow all the instructions that it gives you, right? Also, another nice addition, Taurus has reinstated the limited lifetime warranty on select models. So check that out and see which ones, see if you're eligible for that if you've recently bought a Taurus, although it probably would say so inside if you did. They also include a couple things. This is where we got it from, DE Guns, Lincoln, Nebraska, and they just wanted to include the U.S. Law Shield literature, some ATF literature, Youth Handgun Safety Act notice, and then a little article from American Rifleman on the Taurus Spectrum, which is kind of cool. So that all came in the box along with the gun. So the first thing we're going to do is check this gun to make sure it's clear. Look, a chamber flag, so we know that it's going to be clear. We'll pull that magazine out, lock the slide open, pull that chamber flag out, and give this a look. All right, so the first thing you notice is on the grip frame, it's got this little hump on the back where the mainspring housing is that really fills my palm well when I grip it. It's got one little bump on the front strap, makes a groove for your middle finger, and you can see that's cut way high up under the trigger guard, and then really high up under the beaver tail as well. So you get a nice high grip on this gun, and it puts your bore axis really low compared to a lot of other firearms. So that, and the fact that it's a 22 long rifle, from what I've been told, I haven't shot it yet, but from what I've been told from other reviews, there's not a lot of felt recoil with this, so that's really nice. Moving around the frame, this does not have a manual safety on it. We opted for the model without, because that's what everything else in the house has, so we went with that. The trigger on this is unlike anything I've ever seen. And if I can get this to show up correctly, inside the little trigger shoe, you see this little metal piece right in here. That's the actual trigger. And the plastic piece pivots, and that is kind of like the little flipper in the middle of a Glock trigger or a Walther. Some of the others have that little flipper in the center. This works kind of the same way. This plastic shoe has to pivot first, and then it engages the trigger, and then it will go ahead and let the trigger move back. Now, if you own a rimfire, you know one thing you never do is dry fire a rimfire. Taurus has changed the rules of the game a little bit on this because it's part of the takedown procedure. So I'll go ahead and dry fire it because I need to anyway to take it apart. So when I pull the trigger, it's got a nice feel to it. It's not a match trigger by any means, but it feels good. But let's go ahead and recycle that and work on the reset here. Just a short little reset. It feels really good. Nice audible and tactile click to that, and then a little bit of play, and then we're firing again. So it's very fast on the trigger from the reviews of the people who actually have shot the pistol. You can see a rail here for accessories, 2 slots on it. The serial number is listed along with the QR code in a metal plate under there. So now that we have released the tension on the striker, pull that slide back just a little bit, and then this is your takedown lever. It works kind of like a Glock. Pull this down, and then let the slide come forward. It only comes that far, and then it just lifts off. So you don't slide it all the way. It's not designed for that. We'll set the frame aside for a second. To disassemble this for cleaning, you just take the guide rod out like normal, and it's got a captive spring on it there. Flat wire spring there. And then the barrel does come out just like any other tilt barrel system, although this is not a tilt barrel. So we've got to push that back all the way to where this can kind of rotate out a little bit, and the barrel comes right out. Now, I'm going to show you something here in a little bit that's kind of fun, but if you can look at the end of the muzzle here, you can see that the colors don't match up. There's a little bit of a line and then a flat face here around the muzzle, and you can tell that that comes off of there. And when I tried this, I didn't have to put any kind of wrench on it. It came loose just under turning it with my fingers. So we pull this collar off, and included in the box is a threaded muzzle adapter. So we can actually thread this on. Thread that down, and then you've got half by, what is it, half by 28, I think is the standard thread for a 22 caliber can. So if you wanted to shoot this suppressed, you can do so. It gives you the option to do that. Of course, you can't field strip with that on there. But so we'll go ahead and pull it back off. We'll put it back inside the box for now, and we'll put the normal thread protector collar back on. Be very careful not to get it cross-threaded, or you won't be able to use either one. But I thought that was a nice little feature for the gun. So then, of course, to put it back together, you just put that back the way you had it. Recoil spring goes right like that. And then you've got your grip frame. You can see in here, it's got a nice steel block in the middle there for the slide rails. And then also the barrel has rails that fit inside there as well. Let's see if I can get that oriented right. Come on and focus down here, camera. There's rails on the outside for the slide and on the inside for the barrel, and that locks up nice and tight once you put the slide and the frame back together. So the barrel doesn't actually move when the gun fires. It's not a tilt barrel, rotating, anything like that. Put it back on and then push it back, cycle it, everything locks back into place. And again, because it's not going to hurt it, we can do that and make sure it is actually going to fire. So crazy deal doing this with a rimfire, but it is part of the process. Magazine wise, you get two 16-round magazines with it. It's got a little button on either side here that you can pull down if you want to load. And the cat wants to make an appearance. Get out of here, cat. Psst. Okay, so from everybody that I've talked to and watched reviews on this gun, you don't actually want to do that to load it. It will stagger the 22 long rifle rounds better if you load them against spring tension. And it will hold 16 rounds in each magazine if you load them correctly. So I've been told just to push each round in one at a time instead of pulling the follower down and dropping them in. They did include a nice little mag loader that comes along with it, so you can just slip that right over top and then push your follower down, slide around in, keep doing that. So that works out pretty well. But you do have two of these magazines. I haven't shot it yet, like I said, so I can't tell you how it shoots, but overall, this just feels really nice in the palm of your hand. It fills up the palm of your hand when you go to grip onto it. And a nice little added bonus, when I want to hold my finger off the trigger like this, I don't know if Taurus designed this on purpose to be a nice indexing spot, or if they just put that little groove in there to make it look cool and maybe cut down on an ounce of weight. I don't know what happened here, but that's a nice little addition when you want to make sure that you're holding your finger away from the trigger. You can just put it right there and always know that that's where it's going to be. So that works out really well. Front sight is held on underneath the slide with a screw. It is not adjustable at all to drift back and forth. There's no dovetail there. Rear sight is a little bit different story. This actually does have two screws. You've got windage and elevation adjustments there that you can turn those screws up or down. It does have 3-dot sights, and again, just to try and get this to low, there it goes. I've always got to orient this just right with my camera. It does have 3-dot sights on it, so You've got that available, although this isn't supposed to be a combat gun. 22 isn't ideal. It's kind of a last resort. However, if you need to acquire a target very rapidly, you have that as an option, so that's kind of nice. So overall, fit and finish, top of the line, looks really good. The serrations on the slide are aggressive, but not too aggressive. The stippling on the frame, again, it's aggressive, but not too aggressive. It is not ambidextrous on the slide latch. However, the mag release button is reversible, and it even tells you how to do it in the user manual. So that is something, if you're a southpaw, that you can make that work. It does not have a top eject, and the slide is not milled away from the barrel locking block either at the top. It only ejects out the side. So kind of curious to see if that ever causes any issues with spent cases not ejecting correctly, but it's got a nice big opening, so hopefully that's not a problem. The cat is just determined to ruin the video. So we're going to wrap it up. That's about all we had to say. Of course, we've got the requisite gun lock down inside there that is required by law, also included along with the spare magazine. So that's been the Taurus TX22, and thank you very much for watching. And as soon as we can, we'll get a little feedback after we've shot this, and maybe a little bit of range footage, although I don't expect you guys want to watch a whole video of me shooting a gun. So we'll shoot it, and then we'll tell you what we think. Thanks, guys. God bless.